Ian?
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into the SC2L. We do appreciate it. Tonight we have Complexity Dignitas taking on Root. If you've missed any part of this broadcast or ones in the past, head over to SC2L.gg. That is a website, and there you will see previous broadcasts able to be viewed for free. Or, if we happen to have been graced by the good man himself, Sean, it will also be on his various VOD sites and stuff like that. Sean, where can they find this VOD and others?
Day9.tv, which will, of course, link to youtube.com/Day9TV. Just look up Day9TV, SC2L, and there it shall be. And I, honestly, am super damn pumped for Minigun versus the STC. It's on Red City, which is a map I traditionally hate, because it's really hard to see the players on the mini-map if they're red. A lot of Terran players love this. It's really drop-friendly. It's not good for direct aggression. Terran tends to be able to choose the good positions, so this is going to be an uphill battle for Minigun.
I agree. This is a map I kind of go back and forth on. Like, you'll look, there's 4 bases in your little fortress area, so certainly it can promote macro play, but as you said, drops are really strong here because you can extend out to a 3rd base or 4th base, and then the distance to your main is huge, so getting dropped there is really hard to get back. But also, it's a very confined map, which, Sean, I find interesting because at first glance, when I looked at this map, I was like, haha, this is super Protoss. I love it. Force fields will be so powerful. But what I find is against Terrans, this offers a lot of opportunity for Vikings to get in really good positioning. And against Zerg, this offers for really good positioning on things like Corruptors or even Vipers for their Abduct. And if they get to it, Broodlords in an aggressive stance are very powerful on this map.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I hate it. Down the bottom left-hand corner from Team Root, the #1 American player in WCS NA, and of course, always hanging out at the tip top of the NA ladder. It is Root Gaming's Minigun. Clap, 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 clap. Down the bottom right-hand corner, famous for his excellent control in Brood War, and notable in his continual appearance in foreign events from Team Complexity. They need him to win. It's the STC.
Complexity Dignitas, currently on a 2-game win streak. They're mounting a rebellion against Root. Root started off 3-0 in very strong, powerful fashion. None of the games were exceedingly competitive. I think the closest would be like Targa Cats, but even that one, Cats was pretty much in the driver's seat the whole time. And off the backs of Bling and Vipro, Complexity Dignitas has a chance here. Now with STC, the sole Korean in the lineup for both teams. Well, I guess you can... Well, I guess you consider Select a Korean since he is a Korean, but I sometimes forget because he's spent so much time abroad.
He does not count. He is American.
Okay.
He's ours.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have taken him. It's like a legal partnership when you spend too much time with somebody else. You just suddenly become married in the eyes of the law, basically.
Yes, yes. They're like Select has a civil union with our hearts.
Yep. There you go. I like that. And that is the super PR or PC way to say that too. I appreciate that. Probe is going to scout here, sees the barracks at the front line. Did it scout the gas? Yes it did. So pretty standard opening at first glance from the STC. It seems to be a Reaper expand. It is going to be a Reaper expand. The reason I had that kind of dodgy language is because Minigun will know that you got to keep your eye on the STC. This guy's capable of reaching back into that 2010 TVP bag and pulling out some weird 2 racks openings, 1 base play. Like, the sky's the limit for the STC. He doesn't care.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not, I guess I'm okay with this build. The build that the STC is doing.
Okay.
The reason I say this is that, I mean, it's a fine build. It's one of those builds that, is very functional on a lot of maps, but what is the best thing that Terran has going for him on this map is that it's really hard to deal with drops in the mid and late game. There's so many angles, and this is something that gets you good drops in the early game, but your mid and late game drops are going to be weakened because you don't have extra barracks. And of course, Chad MF Jones going for the standard build, so I can't do anything but praise him.
Yeah, there's no stock right here, just the Mothership Core. So the Zealot will get maybe a hug against that Reaper. The Reaper should get away here. Did get a probe kill, which is actually... Terran players don't typically count on getting a probe kill with their Reaper. It's really nice when they do. It's scouted out the entire base, so he knows there's no Stargate shenanigans just yet. But if you've been watching Minigun, you know that he's one of the Protoss outside of Korea that are doing this Stargate Colossus play, and there it is. And I watched myself a lot of Minigun because I love his gameplay. So what I'm predicting and what he has done in the past is it should be Oracle into straight Phoenix while teching to Colossus. He's a little bit late in upgrades with this build, but that's to be understood. And this is a tough composition to deal with, but I wonder if it's going to work on this map that's otherwise pretty confined.
Yeah, I mean, if you can spot it early, you can sort of sculpt your play to answer it properly. You
Okay.
really have to be... You really have to be the little teapot, Terran.
Yeah, short and stout.
You got to be short and scout.
Okay, I like
That's what
that.
you have to do.
That makes a lot more sense anyways.
Yes.
But you talked about Sean. There it is. The Stargate does get spotted. Minigun waiting to produce something. That's really high-level play. I like that. You know what? A lot of people would just go ahead and build it anyways, but he's going to say, you know what? That Reaper's only going to be here for a couple of seconds. There's the Chrono Boost on. It's still not building anything just yet. There it is. The Oracle will come out as predicted. And then again, it should be Phoenix to follow that up. But the Oracle at this time is really cool because a lot of Terran players wouldn't expect it. Of course, scouting that Stargate, there's a really good chance that the STC knows what's coming, and that's why there's a Widow Mine back here.
Yeah. Teapot Terran got the scout. Burrowing that Widow Mine in the back. If the Oracle runs into this, this is one of the worst situations to be in. And I'm increasingly a fan of actually not getting the Oracle, of actually just going straight into Phoenix, because you get... I mean, if you're against the best of the best, they're going to know that the Oracle's coming. They're going to prepare against it. You're not going to get a lot of damage, so the Oracle will function effectively as good as a Phoenix would. But the Phoenix has a little more utility because it's so much faster. So this is what we saw the difference between Jim versus Minigun / Moxed, who would go for this Oracle and then suffer a lot of losses of the Oracle. Whereas Jim's just like, all right, dude, I'm just going to get really fast Phoenixes. And then we'll be much stronger in those mid-game periods.
Minigun, though, showing off some really flashy footwork with this Oracle. Picks off a second SCV and a Marine, so not doing devastating damage by any means, as you said, Sean. But with it still being alive, there's a lot of utility to be had. We do have a drop coming in the backfield here. There's no detection just yet, and that is a Widow Mine, if I'm not mistaken. It needs to get focused down right off the bat. It's not landing right away. Kind of sloppy play from the STC. And you'll notice the Stargate hasn't produced any Phoenix just yet. There's now one coming out, so... Minigun not rushing to that tech. But to get back to my analysis on the Oracle, the nice thing about this, though, is that because it still lives, STC should be building missile turrets, and I say should because he hasn't. So actually, he's going to take more losses here at the Natural.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of surprising to see. Why does he not have a turret?
I mean, he wants to believe that he can cut that out so that it doesn't incur extra cost, I guess, but in doing so, he just lost 2 additional SCVs, which is the cost of a missile turret anyways, and of course you factor in what they would have brought in for your economy.
Yeah, I mean, you just can never discount how critical it is to prevent this Oracle from getting in, because almost all players will have missile turrets up by now. I mean, if you don't get it now, you're going to have to get it later.
Yeah, and he still hasn't got it, Sean. I mean, this Oracle, if it doesn't get destroyed right now, and Minigun's on top of things, he scouts us out, sees that the army's moving out, and it's acting as like a visible observer right now, actually killing a couple of Marines that got trailed in the back there. It can actually just circle around and go wreak havoc on the Natural or even main mineral line. There is still the Widow Mine in the main, but that doesn't get full coverage. STC is going to poke at the front, but there's a Colossus out. There's 2 photon overcharges. He couldn't be safer.
That Widow Mine. That's all STC wants. He just wants the Widow Mine to connect.
He's like, come out here.
Oh my god, Minigun apparently has absolutely perfect vision. He's got the eagle eyes. Nothing wrong with that. Going to stay back, stay passive. Going to begin adding in more Phoenixes, and this is where things get very tricky for STC.
Yeah.
Who wants to go for a drop? Phoenixes are going to spot it. Phoenixes, you idiots, get off patrol and get on attack. They're targeting
the STC is going to go for it anyways. It's kind of a weird choice. It's now going to have the option to shoot down the Phoenix. Minigun is late to get up here. He's a little bit worried. You can see he's only got the 1 Colossus, which is strong against these Marines, but not super strong. And there's 1 medevac going down. The second one is low at health.
Oh,
this could die. 16 Marines.
No.
Well, 14 Marines and 2 medevacs die. Never mind. They're going to get picked up and slowly killed here as well. Just a devastating loss for the STC. And Sean, I got to tell you, I don't like the choice from the beginning. Like, I know that's cool to say now, but he was dropping under the cover of knowing this photon overcharge and Phoenix. I don't get what he was hoping to accomplish.
Yeah, it's a very odd play. Now, one thing that is important to note is that if you have a Phoenix Colossus player, you would think, oh yeah, you totally can't drop me as Phoenixes. But if you do a small drop, just 1 medevac with a lot of Marines, he's got to send the Phoenixes back.
Okay.
And suddenly this means that his Gateway Colossus army is incredibly vulnerable to your Vikings. You can do so much damage by sending a single medevac away against a Phoenix Colossus player. But it's really hard to do that when you've just lost 2 medevacs and 16 Marines. This is going to not only put SDC on the defensive, but his sort of ace in the hole play, the strongest play against this Phoenix Colossus player, is now gone.
The Oracle is going to come back here, but honestly, with Vikings out here, it's just kind of one bad pathing away from dying. And there we have it. It gets hit here. Does it scout out the third before it dies? If it does, that's another nice little victory, and it does. So one of the only things the STC had going for him that I really did like was this very aggressive third. He's like, you know what? I just lost 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. What do I do now? Well, obviously land my expansion and totally just expand anyways.
Why not?
As you said, you know, well, one thing you're talking about is that if you do have a but Phoenix Colossus composition, you actually can attack for a while because you have to build up a critical mass of both those units, and he's not there yet. So this third is pretty safe.
Now it looks like Chad Jones is going for the usual 14-minute double forge. Keep in mind, a lot of Protosses have 3-3 done at 15 minutes, but now we see the true strength of the Phoenixes. If you perform a drop, and it goes poorly, now all of a sudden, you can get your main base slaughtered by Phoenixes. You are suddenly on the massive defensive Terran.
Yeah, that is going to be a concern. The thing that's going for Minigun is that this composition, like you said, if it gets scouted early on, there's the potential to counter it. But even then, Terran players have a tough time countering it. Like, they haven't experimented or tested the countermeasures against this very well. Like, the initial response is, well, I just make more Vikings. But if you make a lot of Vikings and you focus down the Colossus, a lot of times what happens is you lose all the Vikings. Sure, you kill all the Colossus, but with a charge lot heavy ground army, they're going to trade that out for your ground army. And then those Phoenix still exist against you remaking Vikings, which all of a sudden tips the air favor vastly in favor of the Protoss. And we've seen that play out a few times, and that's the strength of this composition. So honestly, what I like what Terrans do is they do get a lot of Vikings, but they upgrade said Vikings, and then they mix in Ghosts for the EMPs to peel off the shields to the collective Protoss army.
Oh, God. I mean, these Vikings do, though, need to pick off a lot of these Phoenixes.
Yeah.
And that happens over time. It's going to have to require a lot of really nice timings.
That's actually a good point, too. Like, you don't have to do a direct engagement, just like kite, you know? Kite with the Vikings, because the Vikings, they're going to win the air battle, and I think that's what the STC is trying to set up here, but the Minigun knows that there's something afoot. He's going to try to pursue. There's the kiting from the Vikings. The motion core does go down. Stalker's being warped in here. Just a couple, though. Oh, you can't attack through that. Oh, God, the STC's got to be so careful. Now he is focusing down the Colossus, but look at this, Sean. The Vikings are gone. There's still 3 Colossus here. Yeah.
No, I mean, it either has to be full-on target firing of the Colossus or kiting to pick off the Phoenixes to then later on pick off the Colossus. You can't just do a little here, do a little there.
Yeah.
I mean, now Chad Jones has a significant lead.
Yeah, supplies do show that they're the same, but I have to agree with you. Like, composition-wise, it's 3 Colossus with just another one coming out. But the Phoenix count is getting up so high that the Vikings are always going to have a tough time existing when the cloud of Phoenix is just occupying so much space up there. That being said, though, the SDC did do a good job of not losing his ground army. But the issue there, too, is he only has 2 medevacs out because he's been spending all his time making Vikings. So this army is not the most backed up army.
This is a very dicey position right now for the STC because what you kind of want to do is just panic and build a bunch of Vikings, but he didn't have the second reactor ready. So he's kind of playing the catch-up game, and now, of course, Chad Jones does what's to be expected, rounding out upgrades, getting Storm, getting another expansion. Gas is the most restrictive element in this.
Storm is slow here, but it has to be with how much gas is going to, like you just said, it's a restrictive element. So Colossus and your Phoenix are going to occupy that. If he gets Storm out, I mean, that is a devastating final tool in this army. It does not take 5 or 6 Storms to win the fight. It really only takes 1 or 2, either hitting the sweet spot against the Vikings or landing center mass against the Bioforce. Any kind of AoE in those situations, they're bad in other more normal situations. But against Phoenix Colossus, it's death.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Why is he trying to make an arc against that? This is so scary right now. I mean, this is one of these, like reverse pendulum situation where whoever wins the first battle by a little bit is going to win this game suddenly by a lot. This is extremely dangerous for the Terran player in this position because right now STC has 8 Vikings out with 3 more in production. You want something like 22
Yeah.
Vikings. You want way more Vikings than makes any sense at all because theoretically your limited bio should still be able to take out the unupgraded Gateway Force, but now all of a sudden 2-2's just done, Storm's done, a lot of Colossus out, a lot of Phoenixes out. This is looking increasingly good for a minigun.
It is, and I do agree with you. The glimmer of hope here for the STC is that he is being patient. Oh, I don't know what he's doing with these Vikings. This is...
What is going? His
my
brain
God,
is
so
turning
silly.
into tapioca. What is it? What are they doing?
I don't like it.
Oh
But anyways,
my
he does have Ghosts
God.
out, and this is a confined space, so there's potential for EMPs to do, like, 1,000,000 damage here. Oh my God, this could be that time.
Ooh.
They're not doing it, though. There's the one EMP, but it's mostly a whiff, and Minigun cannot engage through that tiny space, but neither can
Yeah.
the STC. What is he doing? He's chasing. There's the Storms against the
Oh.
Vikings. The Vikings seem to think they have air superiority. They're going to push forward. They might have it over the Phoenix, but those Storm, Archons, and Stalkers there, they need to be careful.
That's a real lucky
Oh,
break for
what are they
STC.
doing? Why?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Why?
Gosh, I was about to say that was a real lucky break for STC. He sent his Vikings all the way along the south end of the map, skirted back to his main, and barely managed to join with the rest of his army. It should be floating right on top, and then, of course, those 5 ghosts that popped out instantly sends out 3 to walk to their deaths. I mean, this is a very dangerous, very tight position here for the STC.
Oh, the EMP potential here is massive. There's a big EMP. It hits almost everything.
Wow.
Minigun's trying to engage anyways. He
No.
still has his Storm, so there's the 1, do not chase me Storm. There's the 2, all your Vikings are gone
Oh, no.
Storm.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden, I mean, I want to believe that was really good for the STC, but he just lost all his Vikings, and there's still 3 Colossus here. It's not good.
What on earth is going on? I mean, STC, backed up into the corner, does have control of the Terran ramp. This means that Terran can begin, like, rallying down, but a lot of those units are going to get picked off by the Colossus. I mean, Chad
Yeah.
Jones did back off a little bit, but he's going
Let his
for
shields
another-
regenerate, I guess. I mean, he's moments away from winning, though. I got to be honest. There's 3 Vikings about to come out. There's still some Phoenix out here, 3 Colossus. I mean, I know what Minigun's thinking. It's hard to engage this tiny choke, so he's not doing it just yet. But in doing this kind of aggro style, he's won the trades. He's killed all the Vikings. He's killed sloppy ghosts, which don't get me started on because there's no reason they should have died. And he's stopping the STC from comfortably expanding, and as you can see, his 3rd is even thinning out. I mean, he's on such low econ, day 9.
Oh, God, on the EMP whiffs. This is looking better and better for Minigun by the second.
Yeah.
Time Warp goes down. EMPs get a pretty considerable pack of the Protoss army, and this might be a good position until that Storm went down.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
just doesn't
God.
have the money. Like, it was a terrible engagement for Minigun, but because he is so far ahead economically, he can afford it. Whereas if you look at that production tab, 4 Vikings are coming out right now, day 9. Like, he's down 50 supply and he's making 4 Vikings. This is GG. It's over. Oh my
There's
God,
the
that's
Storm Root, who was leading 3-0, went to 3-2. Things are looking a little tense, but here comes Minigun, wrecking the front with solid play, and boom, there it is. Complexity Dignitas falls to 1-4 in the SC2L. Root Gaming evens their score up to 2-2.
And it got scary there for a second. Vipro and Bling played really well. I'm going to be honest with you. The SCC has been extremely lackluster, all SC2L, and I feel like he's actually moving in the wrong direction, Sean. Like, this is his most recent game to be shown. It started off with 16 Marines getting absolutely demolished from what he knew was coming. He saw the Oracle. He saw the Phoenix. He's like, you know what? Now I'm going to go drop instead. And then from that point forward, ghosts are wandering into the army. He's like doing weird things with his Vikings. It was kind of back and forth for a second there, but I don't know that Minigun was ever in danger of losing this one. I think he was in danger of not winning 6 minutes earlier or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Minigun's style is well attuned to that map, just due to the fact that you have the narrow alleys where the Colossus performs so well. You have the air where the Phoenixes perform so well. Actually, the air is a little bit vague. You have all the weird up and down terrain that's really obnoxious that air can exploit really nicely because it can fly over all of it. So, I mean, Minigun style perfectly attuned to that. But, I mean, gosh, just very, very confusing set of decisions there from the STC.
And if I'm on Complexity Dignitas, if I'm their leaders, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, what's going on? We got to work on this because, again, we've seen the STC play really well in the past. But if this is a guy who I'm not even going to do any, it's not fair to do to guess because I don't know, but I am concerned. As a guy that is a fan of competitive matches, and I look at this, I'm seeing a guy that's getting demolished by foreigners, and he's making really bad choices. So unfortunately for Complexity Dignitas, they do fizzle out under the underwhelming play of STC, and that does mean that Root takes the victory. Like you said, they're now 2-2. That's a healthy position. They need to surge ahead still. It's going to take something like only 2 or 3 losses to keep you in that top 2 foreseeably. I mean, potentially. We have Mouse, Axiom, and even EG that are kicking some ass in this league so far with other teams chasing. So it's going to be competitive at the end. But that's going to do it for tonight. It's been awesome having you. Moving forward, before we get some words from Sean, we are doing the State of the Game episode 100 live from this studio tomorrow at 8 p.m. PDT, where there's actually 12 bottles of booze over there. We will not drink all of that because that would kill every one of us, but we'll drink enough to have fun and to be responsible. Sean will be joining us live in the studio. Excited for that?
Oh, it's going to be thrilling, of course. The wonderful Noni, and the unbelievably adorable JP will all be there.
As you saw him earlier. So that's going to be on It Me JP's channel, I do believe. Is that correct, Conrad? Yes? Okay, cool. So that's tomorrow. Friday, we're doing another SC2L cast. So check our Twitters, SC2L GG. Or no, yeah, just SC2L. That'll find it. SC2L.gg is the website. And then this weekend, we're doing 2 double headers. That means Saturday, 2 matches. Sunday, 2 matches. There's going to be so much freaking SC2L, you're not going to know what to do with yourselves. So just make sure and check the website, SC2L.gg, for your schedule. Some people have been saying, why are the schedules changing around? It's because we need to get those matches completed to actually broadcast them. So sometimes other teams get moved up to the front. Sean, any final words for your fans, the people that tuned in?
I love you. A huge shout out to the Day Knights who showed up in full force today. It was wonderful to have you. Fun playing a little casting game where,
using funny words.
Yeah, you grab one member and you say, what word would you like to see used in the next 10 minutes? And they give me one, and I got to use it. It's a lot of fun, makes the cast a lot more interesting for everyone, because it's so easy to get into those
word ruts.
Yeah, word rut. You use the same words all the time, and then it just, it's like, how do you use the word confetti in there? I don't know.
Oh, you did use that, didn't you? The hatchery confetti. Okay. Well, you actually used it so well that I didn't even notice. I was like, yeah, it does kind of turn into confetti.
That's the goal, because you can't be like, I like confetti, and Jeff in the top right corner is a player.
That would be a lame way to go about that, yeah. All right, so also follow us on Twitter. He's Day9, just Day9, or is Day9 TV on Twitter?
Day9 TV.
Day9 TV. I'm EG in control. You can also just follow SC2L. That way you'll get your updates. But thanks again. House cleaning once more. We are changing that overlay. It should be within a week. These replays are recent. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon. So thank you so much. Check out D-Link, of course, our title sponsor. They're still selling these awesome routers. I have one plugged in at home. It's helped my wireless out tremendously. And in-game, it'll stop your older brothers, your younger sisters, your younger brothers from stealing your information away from your games to download their illegal music or what have you. And it'll protect you against that. And it'll also allow your computer and your internet connectivity to focus on the game that you're playing, because nobody likes lag. Say no to lag. And we will see you tomorrow on episode 100 of State of the Game. You guys have a great night.
Take care. I love corgis. Goodbye.